Japanese to express myself is teaching material to learn Japanese. Chiba City International Association created this teaching material as a project commissioned by the Cultural Affairs Agency. I will explain the basic usage for those who study Japanese with this teaching material. I would like to explain the purpose of the teaching material first. Do you have an opportunity to talk to people about yourself while living in Japan? Use this material to help you speak Japanese on familiar themes. Then, get to know your neighbors, classmates from the Japanese language class, and people at work. The aim of the teaching material is to help you learn Japanese to connect with others in your community. The target level of this teaching material is the basic stage of Japanese. If you are studying Japanese for the first time, we recommend that you study the introductory level for about 10 to 20 hours before using this material. The introductory level consists of hiragana, katakana, greetings, numbers, and simple expressions used in daily life. In addition, this teaching material can be used in various ways. It's perfect for people who can speak well, but are not good at reading and writing, or who have already studied a lot of grammar but are not good at speaking. There are 12 themes in the teaching material. In each theme, you will learn Japanese while talking about yourself and listening to others. There are 5 characters in the teaching material: a mother raising children, a company employee, an English teacher, a restaurant owner, and a Japanese staff member. We chose their countries or regions based on the percentage of people living in Chiba City. I will explain to you how to progress with your studies by showing Unit 3. On the introduction page, feel free to talk about a little bit about what you know and think about the theme of each unit. Of course, it doesn't have to be all in Japanese. At the end of the last unit, you will be able to speak in Japanese about the introduction question. There are stories from 3 people in each unit. This is the story of Mr. Wang, the first in Unit 3. But please don't read it just yet. Let's watch the video first. The videos are here. Take a look at Unit 3.
私はジョギングが好きです。毎日30分ジョギングをします。それから卓球も好きです。中国でいつも友達と卓球をします。卓球はとても楽しいです。でも、今、卓球をしません。寂しいです。
It is good enough if you understand the story in general. Read the same story twice. If you don't understand the words, you can imagine the story, more or less. After watching the animation, a written transcript of the story will be available.
私はジョギングが好きです。毎日30分。
After watching the video and understanding the story in general, look up words that you don't know in a dictionary. New vocabulary is at the bottom of each story. Translated versions are available separately from the teaching material. In English, Chinese, Korean, Spanish, and Vietnamese. Fill out the blanks by taking a look at the translation or looking up words by yourself. After you understand the story in general, practice speaking according to the audio. Start repeating at first. The soundtrack in the video is slow. So if you stop it from time to time, you should be able to practice by pausing and repeating.
私はジョギングが好きです。
私はジャギングが好きです。
毎日30分ジョギングをします。
毎日30分ジャギングをします。
After that, the next step is shadowing. Shadowing means to listen and repeat what you hear with little delay, even if only mumbling at first. If you can't catch a given phrase, you can skip it.
毎日
30
30分
30分
ジョギングを
ジャ
します。
ギングをします。
それから
それから
卓球も好
卓
きです。
球を好きです。
中国でいつも友達と卓球をします。
卓球をします。
Shadowing practice helps you to get used to Japanese rhythm and intonation quickly. Please continue practicing even if only for 5 or 10 minutes. If you repeatedly shadow the same story, you can see how much your Japanese has improved. After shadowing 5 times, you should have the story memorized. Look at this picture and talk about Mr. Wang's story. Each unit has Q&A examples for one person's story. For example, in the case of Unit 3, there is a Q&A about Mr. Wang. Take turns asking and answering questions. Be sure to also take turns when practicing with teachers and learning supporters. When you make friends with others, you should not only answer when asked by others, but you should also be interested in other people's stories and be able to ask questions.
ワインさんは何が好きですか？
ワンさんはジョギングが好きです。毎日30分ジョギングをします。
ワインさんは卓球も好きですか？
はい、好きです。中国でいつも友達と卓球をします。じゃあ3番、今度交代しましょう。私が質問しますね。
はい。
ワンさんは日本で卓球をしますか？
答えは、いいえ、しません。寂しいです。
卓球は楽しいですか？
はい、楽しいです。
If you ask your partner some questions just by looking at the sentences, Then your partner will answer the questions by looking at the picture.
ワインさんは卓球も好きですか？
はい。ワンさんは卓球も好きです。
卓球は楽しいですか？
はい。卓球はとても楽しいです。ありがとうございます。じゃあ今度交代。ワンさんは毎日ジョギングをしますか？
はい。ワインさんは毎日30分がジャギングをします。
Next, make questions and answers about the stories of other people. This is the story of Jenny in Unit 3. Who does Jenny travel with? What flavor of soft serve ice cream does Jenny like? Write the questions and answers here. After writing, ask someone else the questions.
ジネさんは旅行が好きですか？
はい。ジェニーさんは旅行が好きです。特に電車の旅行が好きです。
毎月に何回旅行をしますか？
ジェニーさんは月に1、2回旅行します。いいですね。ありがとうございます。じゃあ交代します。
はい。
ジェニーさんは誰と旅行しますか？
ジネさんは大体友達と一緒に旅行をします。
うん。
時々一人です。
そうですね。時々一人で旅行します。
You know what Mr. Wang and Jenny like. You can also ask questions about Mr. Wang and Jenny. What does Mr. Wang like? Try asking the same question of people around you. Take turns and ask each other questions.
ゴンヌさんも抹茶のソフトクリームが好きですか？
抹茶好きじゃない。
そうですか。
抹茶のドリンクが好き。でも、チョコレートのソフトクリームが好き。
そうですか。いいですね。私はバニラのソフトクリームが好きです。
そうですね。うん。
リボンヌさんも旅行が好きですか？
とても大好きです。
どんな旅行ですか？電車の旅行ですか？
電車の旅行、が好きでも、混雑した電車が好きじゃないです。
そうですね。
いつも家族と旅行すること、車で旅行します。
車で旅行します。いいですね。私も車の旅行が好きです。でも、電車の旅行はもっと好きです。飛行機の旅行も好きです。
そうですか。心配しませんか？
飛行機？
はい。私は心配しますですが。turbulence。
そう。
turbulence とか、天気悪いかな？天気悪いですが、turbulence がいっぱい。
そうか、まあね、揺れるのは怖いですよね。
そうです。
でも、天気がいいとき、下を見ます。とても楽しいです。
What do you like? There are many things that you would like to talk about. Well then, let's write them down. This is called My Story. When you don't know how to say a word in Japanese, what do? Look it up in a dictionary or on the internet. Reading the stories of Mr. Wan and Jenny well, and referring to their format enables you to write a story well. Present my story after you finish writing it. Listeners, take a memo. After the presentation, describe what you understood. When you listen to someone's presentation, don't you want to know more details about his or her story? Let's ask the presenters some questions. As for the question format, please refer to the Q&A of Mr. Wang and Jenny. The purpose of the teaching material is to give you the Japanese ability to express yourself and get to know others by practical communication activities. And through the communication activities, getting along with people around you and building rapport. The stories of Q&A of Mr. Wan and Jenny are learning materials. But you and your friends' stories are also learning materials. Let's learn while having fun.